is my Koi Betta. He's a male, and he's a short fin variety. It's actually the only kind I've seen in my area. But I've just released him from his pet store cup into this all-glass 3-gallon aquarium, so he's a little bit excitable at the moment, checking everything out and seeing what's what. And what he's in is he's currently in this 3-gallon all-glass aquarium. He does have a heater back here, and then this aquarium did come with a filter. I'm not really fond of that filter. It's rated for an up to 10-gallon aquarium, which seems pretty big for a little tank of this size. So what I've had to do in order to make this a betta appropriate filter, you can see he's back there. He's not blowing around anywhere. The plants aren't blowing around anywhere. It's pretty calm, so to speak, you know, in there. And it wasn't that way when I first put the filter in. The spray bar actually was shooting water out for the small size so hard that everything was just blowing everywhere. And I knew that that would not be good for a betta. So what I've done is I've modified this. You can kind of see back here that there's a sponge. Here's the spray bar, and here's the sponge. And I'll see if I can get it from the top here. With the reflection, it's sort of hard to see. So here's the sponge. And what I did is I cut a hole in the middle of the sponge and I just slipped the spray bar right through. So the sponge covers up the holes, which means that the water jets are not coming out and blowing everything everywhere. It sort of muffles it or baffles the water jets coming out. But it still allows a little bit for some surface rippling, which is really important to me because I don't know if you've ever noticed on tanks where you get that protein scum that builds at the top and then dust sort of settles on it, and it's not really good for a couple of reasons. First of all, it doesn't look good, and second of all is that bettas have what's called a labyrinth gill, and what that does is it allows them to take some of their oxygen from the surface of the water. They go up and they gulp some air. If there's a film on the top of the water, then they're sucking that film into their labyrinth gill, and it's not really good for them. So I like to keep the top of the water really as clean as I keep the water itself. Water changes do help with that, but you also need a little bit of surface movement as well. And the rippling and surface movement also helps with some of the gas exchange between the water and the surface. So positives all the way around. So here he comes up here. He's got really pretty blue eyes. He's a really interesting koi variety, koi coloring. A lot of the koi bettas that I've seen are really white. They have a lot of white splotches in them. He's pretty dark, I think, from what I've noticed that's available in my area. He's got blue and red, and he does have a little bit of white, and he has some black little spots along him in his coloring as well. He's a speedy little fella. So that's the new fish in his new aquarium, and there's the light up there. Came out of my Flugel spec. Works great on here. And you can see he's got an Anubias nana, a banana plant that's kind of gone crazy, some floating Anubias back there, and Indian almond leaf, if you can see floating back there, right there. We'll see how he does. I sort of had to show how he's flaring at his reflection in the corner. Just all puffed out back there. But it allows his fins to really open up, and you can see just how lovely that coloring is. And just as a note here, let me zoom back out. He's right under and around that spray bar, and he's not blowing around anywhere. So I think that that idea of putting the spray bar through a sponge is going to work out very nicely.